Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. I want to send a very big hug, a big shout out, big warm welcome to all my subscribers, all newcomers to the channel. We got a tiny, teensy, weensy bit of a problem here, guys. And this was sent to me 2-3 weeks ago. I looked at it, and I kind of wanted to make sure I got this kind of verified before I threw this out there. It is from Bloomberg, but remember, like, the major media-funded media outlets, they're always some agenda going on, so you got to kind of be careful, right? Here it is. I've confirmed this is actually wrong in one bad way. A fifth of China's homes are empty. That's 50 million apartments. It's actually 52 million from the numbers that I got from a China insider who watches this channel. By the way, thank you very much for watching and being observant. There's a risk potential for flood sales during any property slump. You know, imagine the runoff on the housing market when everyone wants to unload 52 million apartments. President said that homes are for living in, not for speculation. Hello, I've been saying that here on this channel for the last, what, 7-8 years? My last channel got shut down. Luckily, I had people that knew me to go to my new channel. My last channel got shut down because I was telling people that a home was to live in, not to speculate with, and that's what it's about. And your home is your base, so you can set up your base and either work from it or set yourself up, set your kids' future up. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that right now. Chinese President Xi Jinping's mantra that homes should be for living in is falling on deaf ears, with tens of millions of apartments and houses standing empty across the country. Soon-to-be published research will show roughly 22% of China's urban housing stock is unoccupied, according to Professor Jan Li, who runs the main nationwide study. That adds up more than 50 million empty homes, he said. The nightmare scenario for policymakers is that owners of unoccupied dwellings rush to sell if cracks start appearing in the property market. Now, it's kind of scary because last time there was a few cracks in the market in the condo sector there in China, of the new condos, they had 4 or 5 extra condos left over by the builder, and they want to unload those last 4 or 5 condos in the unit. So they undercut the price, and people were banging on the windows and with brooms and banging and breaking the windows of the car of the real estate agent that was in the office at the bottom in the lobby, because people were demanding their money back. Because why are the last 5 people going to get a discount? So this is not looking good for China, especially when people for many years have been told that prices are just going to keep going up, and it's a sure thing, right? So the nightmare scenario policymakers is that owners of unoccupied dwellings rush to sell if cracks start appearing in the property market, causing prices to spiral. The latest data from the survey of 2017 also suggests Beijing efforts to curb property speculation, considered by leaders by key threat of financial and social stability, are coming up short. It's not good. There is no other single country which such a high vacancy rate, said Jan and Chengdu's Southwestern University of Finances and Economics. Should any crack emerge in the property market and homes to be flooded, will hit China like a flood. So here it is, ticking time bomb. China's home vacancy rate overshadows the major economies. So here it is, Hong Kong, 3.7%. Japan, 13.5%. Taiwan, 14.2%. The United States of America, 12.7%. And China, 22.4%. And a majority of the U.S. vacant homes are owned by Chinese too, so it's kind of weird. Sources: Hong Kong's rating, Volatility Department, Japan Statistics Bureau, Taiwan. Okay, that's where they're getting their references from. Okay, wait. It just kind of flickered on me. Other solutions that the government could use is property or vacancy tax to try to counter the issues, but neither appears imminent And some researchers, including Gan, say what actually counts as vacant could be tricky to determine. Thousands of researchers fanned out across 363 countries last year as a part of China Household Finance Survey, which Gan runs at the university. The vacancy rate, which excludes homes yet to be sold by developers, was little bit changed from 2013 reading 22.4%. He said in a phone. He said by phone, adding that he was finalizing the data for its release. The 2013 study showed 49 million vacant homes, and Gan puts that number now at definitely over 50 million units. It's 52 from what I've got from my sources that actually watch this channel. Housing speculation has bedeviled China's leaders for years, as some cities are and provinces tightening buying restrictions only to see money flooding into the areas. Rampant price gains also mean millions of people are shut out from the market, exacerbating inequality. Xi famously said in October last year that houses were built to be inhabited, not for speculation, and that's very true. Holiday homes and empty dwellings of migrants seeking work elsewhere account for some of the deserted properties. But purchases for investments are a key factor keeping the vacancy rate high, according to Gan. That's despite the curbs across the country meant to discourage buying multiple dwellings. So it was this part right here that shocked me. Third home. Q1 of 18, third home buyers. So this is third home buyers. So people buying their first home, they're buying their second home, and their third. Look how much it's jumped in Q1 of 2018. That is phenomenal. There is an economic cost to vacancies too, because they're a drag on supply, which puts upward pressure on prices and crowds young buyers out of the market, according to Keiji Chen, who co-authored a Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis working paper called The Great Housing Boom of China. Gan believes the government plans to do its own larger survey in the next year or two. So we'll keep our finger on the pulse on that here. Alternative sources for estimates includes State Grid Corp, electricity data, which from senior officials Chen Jiwin cited for the year of 13% vacancy level to medium to large cities. Last month, Kui Boksen, a former vice housing minister, said the rate is 10 to 20% in Beijing, exceeding levels in countries with vacancy taxes. Other example of vacant home is a villa on the outskirts of Shanghai that 27-year-old Natalie Feng's parents bought for her. Two-story residence was meant to be a weekend escape for the family of three. In reality, it's empty most of the time, and Feng says it's too much trouble to rent it out. For every weekend we spend there, we need to drive for an hour first, then clean up for half a day, Feng said. She jokes sometimes wishes her parents hadn't bought it for her in the first place. That's because any apartment she buys now could count as a second home, which means she'd have to make a bigger down payment. So the more properties you do purchase in China, the more it costs, or the more it costs towards, in percentage-wise, you're going to have to pay. So guys, this is a major problem. This is a huge problem right now in China. We've been covering it on my channel, I don't know for how many years now, ghost cities in China. We've had guests on the phone from Hong Kong and Macau kind of telling us about what's happening on mainland China. I think it's very interesting to see where things are going to be headed if there is any fractures in the market and you see a massive runoff in sales in the Chinese market. I kind of wanted to make sure that this was somewhat of a concrete article before throwing it out there, because 50 million empty homes is a statement. Okay? Because we don't even have 35 million people in Canada. Okay? So that's a big statement. That's a huge statement to make. So anyways, guys, sorry for the lateness on the release on this, but like I said, I'm just not going to throw weird stuff out there. I know it's Bloomberg, but I just wanted to make sure they got their facts straight too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. A lot of people are telling me from Auckland, Wellington, in New Zealand, there's a lot of empty homes there too. A lot of people in Australia are telling me the same thing. There's lots of empty homes there too. It's a big problem all over Australia. I mean, Sydney especially, in some of the more desirable parts of Sydney, is completely unobtainable for the first-time buyer and severely overpriced. We talked about this in my show a gazillion times. And also a lot of empty homes. But a lot of the foreign investors are retreating from Australia and New Zealand as New Zealand passed a foreign buyer's law so that they can't sell. The stipulations, it's kind of watered down, but foreign buyers cannot buy in New Zealand. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it gets to that. So let me know what you guys think is going to happen in Q1 or Q2 of 2019. It's going to be a very interesting year ahead of us. I'm so excited to be alive to see it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.